Hi there, I'm John from CNCROI.com, and today what we'll do is laser engrave and cut a Bible verse onto laminated pine. If you look behind me here, you can see another sign I made recently out of pine. And again, this is the same pine. That one there is from a solid board, which means that it came all from the same tree. While this one here is more of a laminated one. You don't really notice at a distance at all, but if you look up close, you can see how the different pieces of pine, offcuts are put together and glued, and as you can see, the grain is a little bit different all the way across. When I do signage, I really like this material over using the solid pine. The advantage to this is that the board is a little bit heavier. It's got more strength to it as well because of the glues that they use. And so if this weighs maybe about a pound, that thing weighs about half a pound. There's a big difference. The results that I achieve with the laser on laminated pine versus the solid plank of pine is actually exactly the same. There's no real difference at all. So what we'll do now, we'll take a look at our Austrian laser engraving and cutting this sign out. You'll notice in the video that I didn't mask the surface. I'm sort of going half and half. Half the time I mask something, half the time I don't. When it's something like this that's pine, it cleans up real easy. So half the time it's just not even worth masking it, because what you end up having is, if you don't have a mask that's the full width of the board, you end up having either a piece of mask that goes over a piece of mask or a piece of mask that's missing. It's very hard to align things absolutely perfectly when you have compressed air shooting down and engraving into the wood. And the problem with that is that, let's say you have a layer of mask over a layer of mask, that creates a little bit more density on the surface, and you end up actually seeing the line of the mask engraved into this. Now if you're missing the mask, it's going to engrave deeper because there's nothing there inhibiting it compared to the rest of the material. The rest of the mask. So as a result for there, you end up with this section that's actually a little bit up. So it kind of fakes the grain look, but for me, for pine, I just prefer just to not mask it half the time if I get away with it. It does require a little bit more sanding, so that's what you'll see the next video of me doing. After I did the sanding of this sign, I noticed that I had a little section of resin here, and it's a little bit harder to see now. So what I did is I grabbed a little bit of a chisel and a pick, and I just picked out the resin, and then I just put sawdust in it with glue, and I just made my own sort of wood filler. Now the goal when I do this kind of stuff isn't to hide the imperfection, it's just to make it sort of seamless and look like the rest of the board. So if you look at it from a distance, you can't tell I did anything to this board. If you look at it extremely close, you can, let me just show you here. right above the treble here, you can sort of see what happened. But the nice thing with signage is you're never looking at it up close. It's like in an archway or something far away, and at a distance it looks just like another piece, another section of grain going across the wood. And there you have it, custom pine signage. The nice thing about our company is that we make everything on spec. In this case here, the outline could have been absolutely anything. It could have been any size, any shape. This is 3/4 inch pine. So as you can tell, the laser produces a nice contrasting finish. Let's say you don't like that, we could sand that off as well. But I think for a sign, it just adds a little bit of an edge to it, which looks really, really nice. Of course, after this, it's finished a little bit, a light finishing just to make the contrast in the natural wood come out a little bit better. So if you're looking for custom signage, contact me at CNCROI.com.